Hi, Mommy. The cat's moving.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. How's everybody doing? Welcome. Thank you so much for coming on time. I'm so excited to have everybody join us today on this Sunday afternoon. And I'm really excited to have some new students joining us. So inshallah, we are here in our third session of Revelation book class. And so in the first two sessions, we had gone through the prophetic times. And then we also went through the first 3 years of prophethood. And basically our dedication is to go in depth with the information. We are trying to go in depth with the information and dedicating a rate of one class per prophetic year, which means that today, if today is the third class, we want to be in depth with the first 3 years of prophethood. So what we did last time, we talked about the first 3 years of prophethood, right? And so what I would like to make sure we do today is that we go into depth and that we really understand that material that's in the first 3 years of prophethood. And so some of what we've done, and it's going to be a fun, hopefully an interactive class today to get into that depth. One of the things that we have talked about, those of you that have the book, we had the Quranic years chart. If you have the book, it's in the beginning of the book, and it's that circular graphic, which is on the new edition, page 39. Okay, so what we're trying to do is learn this very, very well. The best way to learn this is as we're going along to go ahead and write that information onto the printouts that I give you. So I want to show you the printouts and how they should probably look like. Now, these printouts are found on the website. If you have any trouble whatsoever, just contact me and I'll get it to you. But I want to show you what the very basic one looks like. So here we have the circular printout of the Quranic years, right? And yes, so this is the 4 parts, the 4 quadrants here. And so we know that there was 4 quadrants in this timeline. The first one was the early Mecca. The second one is the late Mecca. It goes on to early Medina and late Medina. Now, my daughter and I worked on this yesterday. And so as you can see, the nice thing about printing things, once your printer decides to work, because by the way, ever since COVID lockdown, I think either my printer got corona or it decided to lock down. It would not print properly for like, I don't know, 2 months. We usually print a lot. But alhamdulillah, we got it to work yesterday, so we had to print many of these. So the first version we did was totally wrong. So I just want to show you it's okay to get it wrong because you can always print another one. So then we decided to do it the right way. So here's an example of what this circle should look like, okay? And I'm so proud of all the young people that are working on this. So you have a circle. The top, there's 3 numbers that we care about today. The first number is the 0 at the top. That means it's the beginning of the prophethood for the prophet. The second number you want to worry about is the 6, which is at the end of the first quadrant. The 6 means that's the 6th year of prophethood. And the last number we care about today is the 3. And we know a 3 comes in the middle of 0 and 6, right? So 3 means that's the 3rd year of prophethood. And so what we have talked about so far is the private call. So the only 2 labels that we care about for today is early Mecca label. This is the first quadrant, early Mecca. And the other thing that we care about is private call. If you have written this, then you have completed this very successfully and you should be very, very, very proud of yourself. So yes, if people can help each other, the WhatsApp
Miss
group.
Luna,
I think on the WhatsApp group, there's some questions coming up. If anybody notices a way to support each other, please do, because I can't get away from the class. Yes, go ahead, Sadia. What is your question? Is that Sadia asking?
It's actually Hania. It's actually Hania. I forgot. For the paper was too small for me to write details. So is it okay if I use another paper to write all those things down?
It is absolutely okay. You can even draw your own circle. You don't need my circle. I just Googled these circles. So all you have to do is draw a circle. And on that circle, you just want to know that the very first, You just want to know the first 3 years are private call. And I'm sure you can make a better circle than me. In fact, what I would love to see is, you know, I have an email address for the class on the website. If anybody wants me to display your work during class, just email me a picture of it and I'll show it during class. Today, I'm going to go ahead and show you Asma's. So this was mine. This is my daughter Asma's one. So she has all of those things. You can see hers is a little bit different from mine. I just had like a line because I like to think of it as a pie chart, but she likes to do it this way. So I'm very proud of Asma. She worked on this yesterday afternoon. Okay, so I did want to go over the Quranic years chart. The other thing I do definitely want to go over to get into the depth of these first 3 years is right here, we have the early supporters chart. This was also on the website. It's been emailed to everybody who I have the email address for. You can always share that email with you. So we know that the first 3 years, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam only told certain people, certain limited number of people about Islam, right? And among those people, he only had a certain number of supporters. Those are called the early supporters. He also had some opposition, as we know from some of his family members from his clan. Some of them denied him, but the people who are his supporters, we want to not just glance at this list and never look at it again. The purpose of this class is so that we get a foundation, right? And so we want to be a little bit more familiar with this list. So, you know, I'm very happy if you already were able to print this or download it, but what we're going to do today is we're actually going to go through flashcards online so that we can fill this out and learn it. And so page 108 right here, you can follow along. I have made online flashcards with exactly this information, okay? So pay attention, you can take notes, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, let's try the next card and let me know if you see it. Do you see the card changing?
Yes.
Okay, so it should say Ja'far ibn Abi Talib.
Yes.
Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, very good. Okay, so if we flip this card, who is Ja'far? He's the younger first cousin of the Prophet.
Wait,
That's
can
how
you
he's
go
related.
back to the can you go back to the first card? I didn't see it.
Yeah, so we're gonna start from, let's see. So this was the very first one, Ubaydullah ibn Jahash. Ubaydullah ibn Jahash. So what I'll do is this time around, I can go back like once, but because of the time of the class, we're going to try to get through all 17 cards, and then I have a little bit more to do, but we'll go back to the cards to try to play a group game, inshallah. So this is Ubaydullah ibn Jahash. And the good thing is that since my meeting's being recorded, you can always go back and fill it in slowly whenever you watch the recording. That'll be fine. So Ubaydullah ibn Jahash.
Somebody's
Did you have a question? Did you have a question?
I'm confused. Where do we write the notes? In the circle?
Oh, okay. So right now, probably the best thing is for you just to watch the flashcard, but here is, let me stop sharing. Right here, this paper has all the early supporters. So we're going through each single one. And I think probably it's better if you just watch the flashcards and try to learn it. And then if you want to write them down, you can go back and watch maybe a recording or look at the book. Or if you want to jot down something, I would say just jot down the relationship. Just jot down the relationship. That's going to be the easiest thing to jot down quickly, okay? Relationship is just going to be like if they're cousin or wife or something easy, you know, because I know it's kind of hard to jot down like a lot. So let's go back. So right here it says Ubaydullah ibn Jahash. And if we flip that card, that was the first cousin of the Prophet. I hope that you can see this side of the card. So we know that the first cousin immigrates to Abyssinia and later reverts to Christianity and dies abroad. And his surviving wife, Habiba, becomes the Prophet Muhammad's 9th wife. So at least you can maybe write down first cousin or remember first cousin. Okay, let's look at the next card. Maymuna bint al-Harith. Maymuna bint al-Harith. Who is this person? It's a female. Let's see what it says. The future 11th wife of the Prophet. So she brings Islam to her clan of Amir, and she is the 11th wife of the Prophet. Let us look at the next card. Ja'far ibn Abi Talib. Ja'far ibn Abi Talib. So who is this person? He is a younger first cousin of the Prophet, and the details about him: leads the migration to Abyssinia, returns and dies during the attack in the Ghassanids in Syria. So he's a younger first cousin, this Ja'far person. Let us look at the next one. Zayd ibn Haritha. Zayd ibn Haritha. What do we know about him? He's the adopted son of the Prophet. He leads an army of 3,000 against the Ghassanids in Syria, where he is martyred. So he's an adopted son, Zayd ibn Haritha. Let's look at the next card. al-Fadl bint al-Harith. al-Fadl bint al-Harith. So who is this person? We know it's a female, and this is Uncle Abbas's wife. So we know the Prophet had an uncle named Abbas, and this is his wife. What do we know more about her? As Abbas's wife, she's the second woman to enter Islam and is very dear to the Prophet Muhammad. She kills Abu Lahab after Badr by striking him on the head. Okay, let's look at the next card. Ayman. So we know that anytime it starts with the word we already know that's a female, so that's a clue. And this is the father's servant, marries Zayd ibn Haritha, mother of Osama ibn Zayd, joins the expedition to Khaybar. Let's look at the next card. Khadija bint al-Khuwaylid. I hope that we are already familiar with her. We know that Khadija was the first wife of the Prophet, and she was the very first person to accept Islam and the biggest source of comfort for the Prophet after his first revelation. Okay, let us look at the next card. It says Umair ibn Abi Waqqas. Who is Umair ibn Abi Waqqas? If we flip the card, we find out that he is the maternal cousin of the Prophet. He pleads with the Prophet to fight at Badr, where he is martyred at the age of 15. Okay, let's look at the next card. It says Abdullah ibn Jahsh. Abdullah ibn Jahsh. So if we flip the card, we know he's another first cousin of the Prophet. He immigrates to Abyssinia, kills a man during the sacred month of Rajab, and he's martyred at Uhud and buried next to Hamza. So this is a first cousin of the Prophet who was an early supporter of the Prophet. Next, Hamna bin Jahash. And I know we have one student in this class named Hamna. Let's see what it says about Hamna. She's the first cousin of the Prophet. She marries Mus'ab ibn Umair and later Talha ibn Ubaidullah. So that is a first cousin of the Prophet who supported the Prophet. We also have another female, Asma bint Umais. Asma bint Umais. Let's flip that card and see. That is the Prophet's cousin's wife. And she's also the wife of Ja'far and later Abu Bakr. Let's look at the next card.
And Abi Talib, Ali Talib, right?
Let's see. I'm just going to go with what it says for now. Wife of Ja'far and later Abu Bakr. Yeah, Abu Bakr. Right. Good question. So yes, next card says Zubair ibn al-Awwam. Zubair ibn al-Awwam. Let's see who he is. This guy was the first cousin of the Prophet. He marries Asma bint Abu Bakr, leads one of the battalions at the conquest of Mecca. Okay, so that is an important person. The next one, Zainab bint Jahash. Zainab. Who is Zainab? She is the first cousin of the Prophet and later his seventh wife. She marries Zayd ibn Haritha and later the Prophet Muhammad. By the way, in this class, if I ever write PM, that stands for Prophet Muhammad because it's a Sirah class, and that's a pretty, that's going to be a pretty critical name, Prophet Muhammad. So I'm just going to say PM. Also known for her generosity and first of Prophet Muhammad's wives to pass away after his death. Okay, so that was Zainab. Let's look at the next one, Safiya bint Abdul Muttalib. Safiya bint Abdul Muttalib, and we heard this name in the last class. She is the maternal aunt of the Prophet. She prays with the Prophet over her slain brother Hamza, mother of Zubair ibn al-Awwam. So this is the aunt of the Prophet. A couple of more. Ali ibn Abi Talib. Who is Ali? He is the adopted nephew and first cousin of the Prophet. He marries the Prophet's daughter Fatima, carries the standard at Khaybar, and later becomes the fourth Khalifa. Okay. Another one, Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas. Who is Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas? He is the maternal cousin of the Prophet and one of the loyal archers at Uhud. Later is nominated as the third caliph and eventually governor of Kufa. And the last one is Salma bint Umais. Salma bint Umais, who is she? She's the uncle's wife, the wife of Hamza and half-sister of al-Fadl, okay? So there you go. Let us go back. And what I'm going to do is we're going to come back to this. We're going to come back to this. And we're going to take a quick peek at another thing. So I know that we have been talking about a certain part of the world. One of the printouts I eventually want to give you is this printout or something like this. Let me share my screen again. So we have been talking about this part of the world, okay, children? Youth, you should know that right here is a map of Saudi Arabia. This one is literally a Google map that I just pulled up. And you can just look at some of the key areas around here. So Kufa, we've mentioned Kufa when we were talking about Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, and right here we have Iraq, that's where Kufa was. We can see where the Mediterranean Sea is here. Here's some of Africa. Saudi Arabia is a peninsula. We have a Red Sea on the left side. We have over here the Arabian Sea on the south side. We also have the Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman. I do just want people to be able to visualize this part of the world, because, you know, we're talking about this part of the world. It's really important to kind of start getting familiar with the geography. Today, we're not going to like focus on the details, and I'm not going to test you on this, but, you know, one day I probably will, inshallah, during this class. Let's see what else I want to go over. Yes, on the Quranic vocabulary. So we had several surahs that we know that were revealed during this time period. And so if you go to the Quranic vocabulary list, let me go back really quick and share this guy right here. So here are the surahs that were revealed at the very beginning of the first 3 years of prophethood. We know Surah Al-Alaq was revealed, Surah Muzammil, Surah Mudaththir. Later we have Surah Qalam, Surah Duha, Surah Shu'ara, and Surah Lahab. Okay, so if we just take a quick peek, once again, we're always going to try to be familiar with some of the meanings of some of this. So let's, yes.
So were these surahs the ones that were revealed in the first 3 years?
Yes, that's exactly why we're looking at these, because these were the ones that were revealed historically in the beginning. So part of the depth of understanding is to know what is being revealed and to also know the words behind it, right? So in Surah Alaq, what I can ask you about, I have it here on the word for word. Why don't I ask you from the word for word really quick? So what does the word Iqra mean? Can somebody say? I'm going to unmute you guys. So does anybody remember what the meaning of the word Iqra is? Can someone read? Very good. How about khalaq? How about the word khalaq?
Read.
Khalaq. Created, right? How about insan? What is the meaning of insan?
Man or human?
Man, very good. How about alaq, which is the name of the surah? Does somebody know the meaning of alaq?
The cloth?
I like how some of you are also typing it in the chat. That's very, very good. Okay. So alaq, I didn't hear the answer. What is it?
The cloth?
The cloth.
Excellent. Very, very good. What about al-akram? When the first ayah at the end, it's describing Allah as al-akram. Who is, what is the meaning of akram? Generous. Okay, so yes. So he is, it says, read in the name of your Lord who is generous. And does everybody know the meaning of qalam? Qalam? Pen. Excellent, excellent. How about la yatgha? It's in verse 2, la yatgha. Who is la yatgha? So it says he has taught man by the pen that which he did not know. Verily, man is what? La yatgha.
Wait, is it in the book? The definitions?
Yeah, so you can look in any Quran book. I'm looking, you can look anywhere. Like, for example, this one is a word for word meaning. You can also look at, here we have like Tajweed Quran. You can look online on Quran Explorer. Oh, is it in the book? Yeah, well, yes, that's a good question. What's in this book, not the Arabic. It is in the book, but not the Arabic. This one has, yeah, it's Muzammil. Can somebody tell me the meaning of Muzammil? The meaning of Muzammil is in garments, wrapped up in garments. How about Layl? Humil Layl. Anybody know the meaning of Layl?
Night.
Night. Excellent. How about the word zid? We talked about it. Aw zid alayhi. Zid. Ziyada, zid. That means to add. Okay, so when the Prophet was taught, not the Prophet, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was saying that, oh, you wrapped up in garments, stand up to pray all night, except a little, half of it, or a little less than that, or a little more. And then he said, recite the Quran. So, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنِ. Rattil. Who can tell me the meaning of rattil? Rattil means to recite. And how about tartil? Tartil, when you recite the Quran with tartil, you are reciting it how? In a slow, measured tone. Okay, let's take a couple of words from Mudathir. What is Mudathir? It's similar to Muzammil. Mudathir, one who is enveloped in garments. Qum fa'andir. Andir is to warn, to stand up and warn. How about fakabbir? Fakabbir. Here it means وَرَبَّكَ فَكَبِّرْ. فَكَبِّرْ means 5. And how about فَطَهِرْ? وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِرْ. Tahir is to purify your garments, right? How about what? Rujsa. Rujsa is like rijs, right? What is rujsa? Filth or trash. Okay. Yes. So let us try maybe one more surah. Another surah that came, we remember that was a condolence to the Prophet during the first 3 years of Surah Al-Duha, right? Surah Duha. So what is Wad-Duha? Wad-Duha. So anytime Allah starts a surah with wa, it's like a swearing, right? Wad-Duha, by the forenoon. How about the word saja? Wal-layli idha saja. Saja means when it darkens. Ma wadda'aka rabbuka wa ma qala. How about fatarda? That's the one last word I'll ask you before we go on. Fatarda. What is rida? Do you know the word rida? Pleased, pleasure, happiness. So fatarda, so that you shall be pleased. So that you shall be pleased. Very, very. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the quiz and have you call out the answers. So right now, and I hope everybody comes back. So the first question is Hamna bint Jahash. So you can see my screen, there's 4 choices.
I know it.
Hamna is either the cousin's wife, first cousin, or first cousin. But then which first cousin is it? So let's see if anybody can guess or know.
First wife.
First wife.
Cousin's wife.
Cousin's wife. So if I click on cousin's wife, it says that's incorrect. So now we know Hamna is not the cousin's wife. So it's going to be something else.
It's the first cousin.
It's the very first cousin, yeah. And you are right. So the answer is Hamna bin Jahash is the first cousin. She marries Musab ibn Umair and later Talha ibn Ubaidullah.
Okay.
Very good. Next question. I hope everybody's back because I think that was a little confusing. So let me see if everybody's like back.
I just came.
Yeah, we have 25 people left. Okay, good. The next question is Zainab bin Jahash.
First cousin, later seventh wife.
Zainab bin Jahash, is that the adopted son,
First
uncle's wife?
First cousin, later seventh wife.
Okay, let's try that one. Yes, that is correct. First cousin and 7th wife. So whoever got that one right, very good. Congratulations. So Zainab bin Jahash is first cousin and 7th wife. Let's try the next one. Ali ibn Abi Talib. Is that the adopted nephew and first cousin?
Adopted nephew and first cousin. Nephew.
Very good, very good. So green means it's right, okay? Green means it's right. It means that red means it's wrong. So you guys got that right. You guys have a good memory, mashallah. At the end you can. Khadija bint al-Khuwaylid. Khadija bint al-Khuwaylid. Was she the first wife?
Prophet.
First wife. First wife. Everybody wants that one, and you're right. You're absolutely right. Khadija was the first wife of the Prophet. Excellent. Let's go to the next question. Ubaidullah ibn Jahash. Ubaidullah ibn Jahash. So was this uncle's wife, maternal aunt, first
cousin of the Prophet? First cousin immigrates.
First cousin.
Very good. Now there's 2 of them that say first cousin. Do you think it's the first one or the second one?
First.
The second one?
First.
Oh, it's not the first one.
The second one.
First. Okay, it's the second one. So this person, Ubaidullah ibn Jahash, first cousin, he immigrates to Abyssinia, later reverts to Christianity and dies abroad. His surviving wife, Habiba, becomes...
This is the second one. I'm getting confused.
Okay, let's try the next one. Next question. Zayd ibn Haritha. Zayd ibn
Adopted
Haritha.
son. Adopted son.
Yay, you guys got that right. Excellent. So he's the adopted son. He leads an army of 3,000 against the Hassanids in Syria. Let's go to the next guy. Abdullah ibn Jahash. Is it first cousin or first cousin or first cousin and wife or first
cousin. No.
Okay, so it looks like we got 3 first cousins that are males, or I don't know if they're males. First cousin who marries Musab, first cousin who immigrates to Abyssinia, first cousin who marries Asma bint Abi Bakr. Which first cousin do you think?
That one.
This one?
That one.
No.
No, not this one.
It's not that one.
This is the second
First cousin, later second wife.
Second one? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good job. Abdullah ibn Jahash, which is the first cousin who immigrates to Abyssinia and kills a man during the sacred month of Rajab, martyred at Uhud, right next to Hamza. Okay, you guys are awesome. This is good teamwork. Next one, al-Fadl bint al-Harith.
Are we playing Kahoot?
This is actually what we're playing today. I was thinking of also doing a Kahoot, but it would like more time.
Future
So we'll do
11th wife.
So al-Fadl bint al-Harith.
11th wife.
11th wife.
Okay, everyone's trying for 11th wife? No,
11th
no,
wife.
no.
Uncle Abbas's
wife.
Yes. Okay, so she is Uncle Abbas's wife. She's the second woman to enter Islam and very dear to the Prophet. Al-Fadl bint Harith.
Okay.
Next guy, Salma bint Umais.
Salma.
maternal cousin.
Adopted nephew or uncle's wife.
Uncle's wife.
Future 11th wife.
Uncle's wife, yeah.
It's uncle's wife. You guys got it right the first time. Excellent, excellent. Okay, let's go to the next one. Saad ibn Abi Waqqas. Is it Uncle Abbas's wife, maternal cousin, or uncle's wife?
Maternal cousin.
Okay, and then which maternal cousin?
The first one.
First one? Very, very good. Good try. One of the loyal archers at Uhud and is later nominated as the 3rd caliph and eventually governor of Kufa. Okay, so that's Saad ibn Abi Waqqas. Next guy, Umair ibn Abi Waqqas. Maternal cousin, first cousin, or adopted son?
Maternal cousin.
Maternal cousin.
Excellent, excellent. Pleads with the Prophet to fight at Badr where he's martyred at the age of 15. Excellent, excellent. Very good, very good. Okay, next, Asma bint Umais. So we know this is a female.
Asma bint Umais.
Yeah.
Cousin's
Is
wife.
her father's servant? Future 11th wife?
Cousin's wife. Cousin's wife.
Okay, let's try cousin's wife.
Cousin's wife.
Oh, you got it right. It's not Uncle Abbas's wife, it's cousin's wife, wife of Ja'far and later Abu Bakr. Okay, very good. Keep going. The next one, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib.
Ja'far.
Younger first cousin.
Younger first cousin.
Excellent. Somebody was taking notes. So younger first cousin leads the migration to Abyssinia and returns and dies during the attack on the West. Very, very good. We are done with 9 out of 13. Next we have Zubair ibn al-Awwam. Zubair ibn al-Awwam. Would you say that's the first cousin, adopted son, maternal cousin, or maternal cousin?
First cousin.
First cousin.
Shall we try? Good job. Marries Asma bint Abu Bakr and leads one of the battalions at the conquest of Makkah. Very, very good. It's so fun playing with you guys. Y'all are super smart. Maymuna bint al-Harith.
Father.
Father servant. First cousin.
11th wife.
And they're right. Maymuna bint al-Harith is the
11th wife.
Excellent. Very, very good. Okay. Safiya bint Abdul Muttalib. Is this the adopted nephew, maternal aunt, maternal aunt?
Maternal.
Very, very good. Perfect. MashaAllah. Now, I think this is the last one. Ayman. Father servant. Very, very good. Father servant. Ayman is father servant, marries Zayd ibn Haritha, mother of Usama ibn Zayd, and joins the expedition to Khaybar. Okay. Let me stop here. You guys did really good. MashaAllah. You guys did really good. Okay. Ahmed wants to say something.
To buy a lychee, they're very yummy. It's a lychee flavor, something.
Okay.
I saw you ate all the lychees.
So my son wants to share that he bought
You
something.
ate all the lychee.
something,
Hey, you.
and he recommends this dessert. It's really good. Okay, so you guys have successfully completed the first 3 years of prophethood. You got very familiar with the earliest supporters. Keep trying to learn the earliest supporters, please. Let me see. Yeah. So please keep trying to learn this. Please keep these printouts. You can print as many as you want. We are finished with the first 3 years. We're going to move on tomorrow, inshallah, to the 4th year. The next session is kind of the 4th.
Are we going to do Kahoot tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow it's going to go back to Kahoot. Today we did this flashcards thing because it's all these vocabulary words, and so it was just easier to do it with the flashcards. And also about the textbook, I'm still waiting to hear from the author, but I'm going to send him another email right now because I sent him yesterday. He said he would give us a discount, inshallah, on the book. And he said it would probably be like a 40% discount plus shipping. So you're saving a lot of money because this book on Amazon was 84-ish, 83, 84. So if it is the 40% discount plus shipping, it should be a really good deal. I will remind him again now that, you know, people are waiting. And then Sister Yasmin is going to get with you on how to go through and get that. So let's do a quick thought. That was the end of our session today. I wanted to go into depth and kind of make sure we know that information to review. We're going to move on to the second 3 years tomorrow, inshallah. Jazakallah khair for joining us. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk wal 'asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus salihat wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Are you gonna make the flashcards available?
Yes, I'm going to share that link right now. Let me share it, and I hope that all of you will have access to that. That's a very good question. I'm going to put that up right now on the website, okay? Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.